purpose? Purpose. What kind of word is that? What's your purpose? Not quite the same question as what's the point, or what's the point of being me, or what's the point of being you? Not quite the same question. No, sometimes it can feel that way. As you work real hard and achieve suspiciously little, it's easy to say, what's the point? Or as you see others who you think you have more skills than them, but somehow they seem to get ahead and you don't, what's the point? What's the point? Or you commit yourself to years of work, trying to do the right thing, trying to be sensible. And then all the stuff you're good at is suddenly invented out of existence. Voiceover artists, years of training, suddenly AI apparently does it quicker and cheaper, not better, but quicker and cheaper. What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? What's your purpose is not quite the same as what's your point. What's the point? But yes, it can feel that way. When I had a heart attack a few years ago, I lay in a hospital bed a couple of days afterwards waiting for a full diagnosis as a result of tests, and I had to ask myself what the point of my life was. Around that time, many things collapsed. Not long after came the pandemic. My mental health was fragile alongside my physical health. Personally and professionally, things went into a doom spiral for a while. What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? What's your purpose is not quite the same question, but they are connected. What's your purpose is, for me, the question that says, what, beyond all the noise of daily life, beyond all the striving of ambition and yearning and respectability, all of that, what makes you feel right? My definition of purpose is a feeling of rightness. What's the point? What's the point? The point is to achieve that feeling of rightness. I say feeling, not statement. Words, they're slippery. Sometimes people think of purpose as a personal mission statement. Here is my purpose, written in no more than 25 words. Yeah. We've all read corporate mission statements and realised how little they have to do with the actual actions of that corporation. This global oil company is committed to a green and sustainable future. Sorry, I don't want to be rude, but horse shit. We do that to ourselves, though. I'm committed to being the best version of myself, and yet somehow I spend year after year after decade doing what brings me no real deep joy. And because it brings me no joy, is of no real service to others, to those I claim to care about. Words, you see, are slippery. But that deep down sense of this is who I most truly feel myself to be. This is my purpose. Now that, what do you want to call it? Feeling, sense, insight, intuition, Many words, slippery words, but that feeling of rightness is the best guide you will ever have to the uncovering and sharing of your true genius. What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? The point is to live as much as you can within your purpose. What will guide you to your purpose? Becoming present with what is and learning to take a complex, sophisticated and detailed relationship with the notion of pleasure. Don't like the word pleasure? Joy, bliss, awe. Not quite the same word, but it's in the same terrain. My new program, launched only yesterday, Finding Your Purpose Through Presence and Pleasure. If you are ready to dig deep into yourself to find that feeling of rightness and to identify and eradicate the things that stop you living in the domain of your purpose, then how about you drop me a message? We'll set up a call, we'll have a chat, and we'll see if it's for you. Do it soon. There's an early bird price until about the 15th of January. What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? The point is this: to live. And to quote that great Greek fictional character Zorba, to live in the full catastrophe. Find your purpose through presence and pleasure. Be in touch. I'm running a program in February called Find Your Purpose Through Presence and Pleasure. It's a combination of group work and individual work, namely 6 group sessions during which we'll really dig into those 3 words, presence, purpose and pleasure, and 2 individual sessions as well. It's a program I've run a couple of times before. It's always very good, I think, and I'm looking forward to running it again. Well, in a couple of other videos I've talked about what I mean by purpose and why it's kind of useful to know your purpose. And I've also talked a little bit about why presence, which is all about being connected with now, is important if what we're trying to do is focus on purpose, which in some ways is about where you want to be in the future or what you want to be doing in the future or aligning with your future goals. In this short video, I want to just talk about pleasure. It's a tricky word, pleasure. Some people go, pleasure's everything. Some people go, we're not here to have fun, It's one of those words that has quite strong reactions from people. And when I talk about putting pleasure at the heart of your work, sometimes people get quite peeved. It starts from you're not here to have fun and then goes, you're just saying that you should just do what you like, and some of us don't have the luxury of just doing what you like. And yeah, I know. Almost none of us have the luxury of just doing what we like. There's a whole thing saying, you're meant to struggle, you're meant to suffer, because that's the only way you achieve anything worth achieving. If you commit to pleasure, you're committing to just drifting along like a mediocre non-entity. People get very upset about this, particularly people who seem to work from a perspective of, overwork, over effort, burn yourself out, because that's what being an entrepreneur is. That's what being a real dedicated artist is. I'm sorry, I think it's horse shit. I think it's all a load of old crap. Pleasure is a complex, not a simple idea. What I mean when I say we should put pleasure at the heart of our work is that, put really simply, as you define what it is that you are going to spend your precious life doing, there's no great value in committing to something that gives you no joy. There's no great value in saying, well, I'm going to have a miserable life, and fool yourself by thinking, yeah, but at least I'll have a decent pension, or at least people will think I'm nice, or whatever. There's no great value in committing to unhappiness. You don't get a special certificate on your deathbed saying, congratulations, you spent your whole life unhappy. There is value in accessing your joy, to use the phrase, in following your bliss, in identifying what it is that brings you truly alive, that makes you most truly you, that allows you to access your unique gifts, and to let that be the heart of your life choices. Now, it may be that what gives you true joy is to provide for your family, and you don't really care what job you do. Okay, well, fine. Then your pleasure is in the provision of a way of life, a standard of living for your family, and that's where you find your pleasure. Commit to it. Doesn't matter what job you do. It may be that you go, I don't really care how much money I earn, but I really find my bliss in being in nature. Good. Find a way to live that enables you to do that. It may be that you go, my pleasure is in honouring the expectations of my family or my community. And I'll do a job that holds no intrinsic interest for me because I want to be a good citizen, stroke daughter, stroke son, whatever. Good, that's your pleasure. Commit to it. It may be that you go, well, my long-term pleasure is, to earn a decent living, but I don't like the job I'm doing. Okay, this is where pleasure starts to get more complex. There are different types of pleasure. There is short-term pleasure, which to use a Greek word, we might call hedonia, and there's longer-term pleasure, which is closer to a sense of fulfillment, which in Greek we might call eudaimonia. Any Greeks listening, I apologise for my pronunciation. So why does this matter? Well, this matters because ultimately when I say commit to your pleasure, what I'm saying is take responsibility for your choices. Not a popular thing to say in a marketing video. Take responsibility. We don't take responsibility. We get somebody else to do things for us. But, I'm afraid I'm a little hardball on that. We have to take responsibility. When you choose to do something with your life, find the reasons why you're doing it. Even if what you're doing brings you no intrinsic, immediate pleasure, know that you are doing so because you're committing to something longer term. In other words, move away from the place of being victimized and disempowered by going, there's nothing I can do about it, I hate it, but life's crap, and take ownership of your choices. Be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am doing this because either I love it or I love what it gets me. I will take responsibility for my life choices, and therefore I will be able to enjoy the fruits of my choices, knowing that they're mine to enjoy. They didn't just drop on me by luck. I worked for what I achieved. So this is why putting pleasure at the heart of your life's purpose for me is crucial. First of all, identifying pleasure helps you identify your purpose. Secondly, committing to pleasure helps you own your purpose. So, my program, which starts in February, runs through to the middle of March, is called Find Your Purpose Through Pleasure and Presence. If you think this is something for you, if you're ready to make the big change in your life, ready to refocus, recommit, redesign, then why don't you drop me a message and we'll have a chat. And if it's going to work for you, we'll work together. Have a wonderful day. So, what is the connection between purpose and presence, apart from the fact they both start with the letter P? What is the connection between purpose and presence? Purpose, this sense of, your life's mission, what you're aiming for, some way in the distance. Purpose seems very different to paying attention to presence, which is about the direct, immediate experience of you in the world in this moment. Why, in my new program called Find Your Purpose Through Presence and Pleasure, why would I put presence at the heart of a journey towards understanding purpose? Well, here's a little image for you. Help explain why those two things to me are actually inseparable. Here's a little image. Imagine you're in a city and you want to go somewhere. When I think of this, I always think of Athens. Imagine I'm in Athens and I want to go to the Acropolis, the Parthenon. Anyone who knows Athens will know it's stuck on a big rock in the middle of the city, and you can see it from, sort of all directions, pretty much. Quite a way out from the city centre, you get to see this great, beautiful, ancient monument sitting there. And if I'm in Athens, perhaps I want to go to look around the Parthenon, or at least wander around the streets at its base. So I'm in my hotel or Airbnb out on the outskirts, and my purpose one sunny spring day is to visit the Acropolis. Great. How do I get there? Well, I might have a plan. I might go, right, I'm going to get on the metro, change at Syntagma, and off we go. I get to the metro station and the metros aren't running for some reason. Okay, I need to change my plan. I still have a purpose, it's to get to the Acropolis, but I have to change my plan. I'm going to call a taxi. No taxis. Buses are all overcrowded because the metro's not running. Okay, look, it's a nice day. I'm going to walk for a bit. I walk for a bit and then I see a little pedestrian back alley that looks really nice, and then there's a shop and oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm just going to get something to eat. Oh, hello, I met a friend. Off we go. Before I know it, I've forgotten all about the fact that I am supposed to be visiting the Parthenon, the Acropolis. You see, to achieve my purpose, I need to stay focused on what is being asked of me in the present. I can't travel on the metro. Stay present, look around, see what's possible. Make a choice. If that choice doesn't work, make another choice. If I decide to walk and I start to wander, if I see something that interests me, be present with the fact that I'm both interested in that and wanting to do that, and make a choice. Sometimes in life you'll find that you are busy following a purpose and suddenly something will come along that you go, this is more important than anything that I think is important to me. This outweighs any sense of purpose I have. And you change your purpose. Perhaps, I'm wandering to the Acropolis and I meet a friend and I go, you know what, sitting for a coffee with this person sure as hell beats visiting an ancient monument I've been to before. The journey we take through a day, through a week, through a career, through a life is an interplay between objectives and moment-to-moment realities, between intention and reality, between what we hold in our minds and hearts as our purpose and what we experience as our present. And we have to go through a continual negotiation with that. Sometimes what you're doing in the present simply doesn't seem to be serving your purpose. What are you going to do about that? Simply carry on what you're doing until you can find, another way to reach your purpose. Like I'm cycling now to the Acropolis and there's a road closed, so I'm trying to head south, but I've got to go east for a while. Don't worry, just go east. And then when you can, turn south again. A continual negotiation between presence and purpose. Now, as I actually define purpose, it's a feeling of rightness, that sense that everything is aligned. And of course, that deep feeling of this is who I am meant to be, doing what I'm meant to be doing in the world that I have come to adore. That deep feeling only exists in the present moment. And if you're so busy focused on what if and how about and all those other suppositions, you'll never really be able to tell whether you're on track. For all knowledge happens in the present moment. So if we want to identify and head towards our purpose, then we need to enhance our ability to become really present. And those are two of the strands at the heart of my program, which I'm running again from the start of February, called Find Your Purpose Through Presence and Pleasure. Perhaps I'll make a video tomorrow about pleasure. If you're interested in the course, respond to this or drop me a message or send me an email or launch a carrier pigeon in my general direction. Get in touch. Have a look at the link that's on the screen below or above. And we'll have a chat. Work out what it is that you're looking for. Have a wonderful day, my friend.